And at the time I am filming this, I am a couple button clicks away from activating channel memberships. I've talked about this with you guys recently. We are implementing these. You've seen the community board postings, the poll, the picture regarding the loyalty badges and the custom emoji. Channel memberships are upon us. So in this video, I'm going to run through how these work, just talk about that a little bit, what you need to know, what's not changing, what is changing, and why you should consider these. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the upcoming KK plans as well, but this is mainly about channel memberships. So also, there will be another little video. There should be anyway. When you click the join button, another little video should pop up, just kind of running through this a little more precisely, just a little more specifically for people that are inquiring about joining. But so what do you need to know? First of all, I want to make clear mainly three things. Number one, nothing is changing here as far as the current channel layout, how things work. No changes. I'm not going to take our old videos, like our popular videos. I'm not going to take those and move those to members only. No point in that. That would literally be shooting myself in the foot. 5 years ago, I talked about making the KK patron only and so, something like that. But that was 5 years ago. When I did that, that was because of the advertiser boycott, and we were not making any money. There was no revenue stream. We did not have ad revenue set up the way we do now. We have a pretty solid business model running right now when it comes to our standard videos being released on here and the algorithm that way traffic has built up on this channel. So the last thing I would want to do is disrupt my current revenue stream and the way traffic comes in, the way channel growth happens, the way you guys find our videos. So I'm not going to move an old video to members only and try and extort people into becoming members to watch it again. That's not the point of this at all. It's not to disrupt what we've currently built. So nothing changes as far as what you guys have access to right now. What could change is, what's going to change when it comes to people who are channel members is what you have access to in the future, and primarily, specifically at this point, really totally the plan is how the early access you have to it. That's what channel membership is really going to give you, is the early access and exclusivity when it comes to the community board. However, another thing I want to stress, the second thing is nothing is changing in regards to how we use Patreon. I've talked about this before. The crime scene YouTube channel and channel membership perks, benefits has absolutely nothing to do with Patreon. We've been using Patreon for almost 6 years, very successfully. Our main function of the Patreon we have is for the distribution of our live action titles. That is the main function of it. For people who are pledging $25 or more to buy a specific live action title. Nothing is changing there. However, a lot of people have funded this channel, have sent us support monthly, even after they've got all of our live action titles. $25 a month, $15 a month, $10 a month. A lot of you guys, I'm very grateful to you guys that have continued to send us those large dollar amounts. Patreon would be the place to do that. Obviously, channel memberships, we're going with one tier, $5.99 per month. That's it. So there's no way to send me any more money than $5.99 through channel memberships. So if you're someone that's funding us, it's greatly appreciated. And Patreon is a place to continue doing that. Also, people who have done that, I've given them discounts on new live action stuff when it comes out. So I've never been hesitant about that. So Patreon, but we do have smaller reward tiers on Patreon. We have the obviously the bonus videos at like $10 and $15, but below that, if you're talking about a $5 or less pledge on Patreon, if that's where you're at, if you're a patron right now and you're pledging $5 or $2 or $1 or whatever it is that you're pledging, $5 or under, I would seriously consider transitioning from being a patron over to being a channel member for the $5.99 per month. I'm not 100% certain on this, but I don't think there is tax on that $5.99. However, if you're pledging $5 on Patreon, Patreon did have to add sales tax here recently over the last couple years. So your $5 pledge on Patreon with sales tax probably comes out to the same, possibly more, actually. I'm not entirely, depending on your state. But transitioning from a $5 or under pledge to a $5.99 channel membership is really a smart thing to do because of the amount of benefits and rewards you're going to get as opposed to being a $5 or under patron. Now, if you're on Patreon and you're pledging to us $10 or more per month, I would seriously consider saving all of the bonus videos you've accessed to a private playlist on your channel. I would consider doing that on your YouTube account, and then custom editing your pledge or selecting a lower tier level that is $5 down. So if you've been pledging $15 per month, I would seriously consider clicking the $10 option and then becoming a channel member. Price, it's probably going to come out the same, but you're going to get a lot more benefits. Same thing if you've been sending us $25 per month. I mean, totally up to you. If you feel like you want to keep the $25 on Patreon because you don't want to bother messing with it and you then want to become a channel member, obviously I greatly appreciate that. But you can set a custom pledge level. You can change your $25 down to $20 and then become a channel member on YouTube. You're going to get more benefits. You want to have this channel membership as opposed to just consistently sending money on Patreon. There's a lot more for you. And that's what I want to come into next. So yeah, if you're $5 or under on Patreon, I mean, if it's a money thing, if you're pledging $2 a month on Patreon because it's all you have, greatly appreciated. Your benefits on Patreon are not going to change. Actually, people who are pledging $5 on Patreon, technically their benefits are going to increase a little, $5 or more. But like I said, if you're at that $5 level, you're going to want to consider transitioning over to the channel membership because you're going to get the same perks, same rewards, but better through the channel membership than you are $5 or less on Patreon. But whatever you can give is greatly appreciated. So right now on Patreon, if you're pledging $2, you get KK Early Access, ad-free, typically, as long as I can make it happen. Sometimes extended footage on the secondary account videos, sometimes. However, and sometimes if it is extended footage, then it may not be ad-free. That just kind of depends on how that works out. But $2 and up patrons are still going to get early access to KK episodes, just not a lot of early access, the way it's been. Sometimes a couple days, sometimes a day. So $2 and up pledge on Patreon gets you limited early access, a $2 pledge. $5 pledge now on Patreon is going to get you the same type of early access that you get through a channel membership. That is the main perk of the channel membership. So that's what I'm going to run into right now, is run through what you're actually getting with the YouTube channel membership. Primarily, well, there's mandatory perks that you have to offer when you offer membership, such as the loyalty badge. You can either select a generic layout of loyalty badges, which is mandatory, or you can make your own. We made our own. We have the mask in black for a new member. 1 month, their rope gets added. Second month, tape gets added. 6 months, the mask changes to white now, thanks to Edith for that recommendation. And then after a year, it goes to red. There's an option for 2 years, but we're not there yet, so I haven't worried about that. I made some custom emojis. Only 4 I'm allowed right now until we get more members. I've seen channels unlock up to like 13, maybe more. I don't know how many emoji you can have, but right now we're at 4. So those are your mandatory little things when you become a channel member. Your loyalty badge appears next to your name when you comment. There's a member section on the channel homepage. YouTube's really trying to push these out. They ran a whole advertising campaign around channel memberships back at the end of the year. You may have seen ads for them, trying to educate people on how they work. They're really getting behind this. Obviously, they're late to the game to try and compete with Patreon, but they have full integration. YouTube channel memberships are integrated to your channel. Patreon can never be. It's third party. So that's why you'd want to consider moving over to this as far as the channel goes. The main perk that we're offering when it comes to channel memberships is early ad-free access to videos. Now, we talked about the $2 on Patreon, that ad-free early access, but that's going to be much more limited to people that it will be compared to people on Patreon who are $5 or up, or people who are getting channel memberships for the $5.99. I don't think there's tax on that. Like I said, $5 on Patreon, there is tax, so it comes out probably the same. The early access for channel members, okay, it's going to be real early access. Like, we're eventually going to get 5 episodes ahead for channel members as compared to the general public. Ad-free, as long as it's on early access. Once it's no longer on early access, once it gets rolled out to the public, ads will be turned on, and then through the community board, a private link, the unlisted video on the secondary channel will be sent to you, so you can keep an ad-free version. That's the version the $5 and up patrons will be getting. So members will get to keep an ad-free version even once the members-only video has been moved from members-only to public with ads. So how that's going to work, and it says in the reward tier perks, it says early access to new KK episodes. That includes recaps. That includes previews. That's not written on there, but we recently brought in the previews, kind of doing a small version with the shorts. Don't expect much out of shorts in the coming future, but the preview as well. So how it's going to work, members are obviously going to get the preview first of the episode, and then they're going to get the early access version. So let's just use as an example. Well, let's use Recap 26 as an example to start. That's what comes next. There may or may not be a preview for Recap 26. Recaps, I don't know if there's always going to be previews for. Let's say that there isn't. Recap 26 will be released members only and $5 and up patrons. Members only recap of 26. Okay, so you have this. After 2 weeks, that members only video is going to transition to the public. That's for recaps, because we don't make a lot of recaps. So members are going to get a 2-week early access ad-free to recaps. Then it transitions to public. When it comes to a new episode, episode 301, the KK Olympics we're doing. So 301 is going to be a members only video. Then 302 is going to come out as a members only video. When 302 comes out, I'm going to move 301 to public. Then 303 comes out members only. Then 304 comes out members only. When 304 is members only, 302 gets moved to public. 305, 306, then 303 becomes public. 307, 308, 304 becomes public. 309, 310. Once members have episode 310, the public will get episode 305. And at that point, we have a 5-episode gap. And then it's going to be 1 for 1. 311, 306, 312, 307. There's going to be a 5-episode gap. So members and $5 and up patrons are going to get be on a 5-episode advance from the public, ad-free while they're on the advance. So this is something to consider. This is going to be something you want to do. And like I said, if you're a patron at $5 or less, I would consider rolling into the membership program through YouTube, as opposed to keeping a $5 pledge on Patreon. That's just me, because the integrated extra perks you're going to get as a channel member that you can't get through Patreon at $5. That's just, again, if you're at $2 because it's all you got, I mean, we're talking really small dollar amounts now. So I feel there's so much more value to people $5 and under on Patreon transitioning to the $5.99 membership. So much more value, because we're not done with the rewards. The early access, yes, like I mentioned, there'll be early access for the previews. and then the previews will become public probably after the members get the full episode. Probably once the members get the full episode, then the public will get the preview. Previews do not contain any details, by the way. And if you write details in the comments, I'm going to delete them. Previews are previews. They're not going to tell you what the scene is from, anything about that. And so don't expect that. Expect to see a preview, and that is it. So, I mean, I would consider looking into the channel memberships to get that advance, to get that ad-free viewership. Obviously, some of these episodes are long, so watching them ad-free is quite a perk. You don't want to sit through ads on the long videos. Excuse me. So that's definitely something to consider. That's the main perk, early access. Could there be other videos we make down the road that you also get early access on beyond just the KK? Yeah, probably. I'm sure there will be. I didn't write that in the perks. It's kind of just common sense. I feel like clicking members only on a video is a serious option. I mean, it's what a lot of people are going to be using. So there's a chance. Always early access, though, for something that's like a solid video. An update announcement video, probably not. But anything that's a concrete core addition to the channel, you're going to get early access to. Okay, so that is the main perk. Secondly, the community board. You're talking pictures, exclusive pictures, updates, polling, possibly video links, maybe to a recommendation or something like that. But typically, you're talking pictures and polling. The community board is going to become primarily members only. Also, probably previews for KK episodes with pictures, things like that. It's going to be a real community-built, members-only specific area. And you guys that are members will get notifications of the posts. I mean, it's easy to look for those, obviously, even without the notifications. But this is going to be very exclusive. And, I haven't used Patreon a lot for this kind of stuff. I could do polling on Patreon. Fact is, Patreon is third party. It pulls you guys away from YouTube. Just like me, I'm sure you guys use YouTube a lot, and you don't use Patreon very often. So doing a lot of interaction on there on Patreon is kind of an inconvenience to everyone. It's kind of always been that way, I felt like. So I never really got too involved with posting on there, which I'm going to start doing with the community board, making it legit members only, really getting that involved. You remember the Who Wore It Best, that little interactive feature we were doing. I quit doing that because I hate the public polling results, because people that don't know what they're talking about will vote, and it really ruins things. With the community board becoming members only and only members being able to vote, you guys are paying. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm asking. We're going to get like a legitimate response. So that's something I'll probably end up bringing back once we build up some members. Asking for you guys' opinion and advice. Definitely going with members on that. The public, like I said, there's too many bots, too many people that don't know. Like, YouTube recommends community posts to everybody. So it's kind of a disaster, the public stuff. So making the community board members only is going to make it accurate and legitimate. And that's kind of the point of that. So that's a huge perk. Then you have discounts on live action titles. I can run through that pretty briefly. It says valid after 60 days. So once you have been a channel member for 60 days, you paid for a couple months. At that point, if you want to pick up a live action title, I will give you a discounted price on that. That's going to vary, probably depending on how long you've been a member and which title you're picking up. But I've never been shy about giving discounts away on live action titles. So that's pretty self-explanatory there. And then the final perk that's listed, I only have 4 listed and approved right now. I have room for a 5th. And obviously there was more things I wanted to give out. Like I mentioned, other members only videos. I mean, I can just throw those on top. I'm going to try and get all you guys' email addresses so I can communicate. I don't know if it gives me them automatically or if I got to ask or have you guys send them to me. If you have any questions, by the way, our email address is in the About section of the channel. We're very easy to communicate with, to access anything. If you have any questions, obviously you guys leave comments. You can do that too. But If you have something really direct, sending an email, you'll get an answer. So the final perk that is listed is a production credit. So that means in the commentary section of a KK episode, and it says redeemable every 5th episode for right now. So I don't know how difficult it's gonna be for me to do the listing of the people who are members in the commentary section. So it's gonna like pop up and say like executive producer. Maybe if it's like your second or third one, or then if it's your first one, it'll say producer, and then whatever name you want to go by will pop up in the commentary part of the KK. So that's a little thing. I could have done that through Patreon for a long time. I'll probably ask the patrons that are pledging, over $5 and over if they want a production credit. That's just a little something to throw in there for right now. But mainly a lot of this is going to be integration when it comes to members-only videos, early access, ad-free, members-only community board interaction. If we do live streams in the future, we've done them before, depending on how many members we have, we could do a members-only live stream. That is a beta feature right now that you can do where only members have access to the stream. Or I could do a stream, only members have access to the chat. I'm not sure if you can do members only chat in a premiere video. You may be able to set that. I haven't done premieres in a while. But yeah, so members only stuff like that is an option. This is something, like I mentioned, they've really backed behind. YouTube has gotten behind this a lot. They're putting a lot into it. So there is a chance that more things are going to come with this. These aren't going anywhere. Who knows what other perk options. And if you guys have ideas, let me know. I would recommend reading through the membership policy page. There's really only 3 things you can't do. You can't offer an in-person one-on-one meeting. You can't offer downloadable content. So I can't say I'm going to send you a video that's also on YouTube or music, something like that. You can't offer downloadable content, and you can't do a lottery or a sweepstakes. I can't say become a member and you're entered into this drawing to win this. You can't do any lotteries with channel memberships. That's really the only 3 things that are out. Any other ideas you guys have? Will I add higher level tiers in the future? I don't have plans on it right now. I want to make this accessible to everybody and to offer a lot of things to get people engaged. The Sticky Situations comics are going to be included for anyone that's a channel member and any $5 and up patron. Those will be emailed separately. Yeah, probably most, probably everyone that's a patron, actually, not even if they're just $5 and up. Probably anyone that's a patron will get those, and obviously channel members at the $5.99 and up. So, and when we get our new live action stuff out, early access to trailers and previews, for sure. Early access to the previews and trailers of the live action stuff that gets hosted on this channel. Probably anything hosted on this channel, you'll get early access to. Yeah, so that's kind of that. That's what we have for channel memberships. Again, the blue button is probably there. It's if you're on desktop, it's blue. The join button. If you're on mobile, I don't know if it's blue. If you're on the TV, I don't know if it's there. I should probably look into that. If you're watching on TV, I should have done that already to check some channels that have it and see if you can actually sign up through the TV. I don't know. I'm curious how YouTube's going to continue to adjust to the TV. I feel like I watch a lot of YouTube on TV. So, but anyway, that's that. So I will see you guys soon. Click the join button. Watch that little video. It'll probably be there. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Thanks for the support.